بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا ومولانا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا محمد وآله. We have received a question regarding the fast of the 6 days of Shawwal and its related rulings. Dear Shaykha, I observed that you fasted the 6 days of Shawwal immediately after Eid consecutively. Then I heard from another ustada that doing so is makruh in the Hanafi madhab. Yet in your lesson on the Fiqh of Fiqh, you said that one should take on a recommended practice from another madhab only if it is not makruh in our school. Could you clarify, please? Okay, first I would like to say that I love this question. MashaAllah. May Allah bless you, sister. Furthermore, as I see this question is an opportune teachable moment, I've opted to record this audio answer and to expand upon it. Let's begin with the short response. We affirm what we have previously stated, that it is recommended, even as a Hanafi, to fast the 6 days of Shawwal directly after Ramadan and consecutively for the following reasons. Point 1. Whoever has stated that it is disliked to fast the 6 days of Shawwal immediately after Eid consecutively has inaccurately conveyed the Hanafi position. Based on the outward purport of the relevant report, the majority of scholars, including Imam Shafi'i, Imam Ahmad, and Imam Abu Hanifa himself, radiyallahu ta'ala anhum, consider it a recommended sunnah to fast the 6 days in Shawwal. The narrations from Imam Abu Hanifa that seemingly indicate to it being disliked pertain to considering it a duty to fast these days. You may refer to the Hidayah of Imam al-Marghinani and its Sharh Fath al-Qadir by Ibn al-Humam, rahimahumullah ta'ala. And so this leads us to another fa'idah, namely that riwayah that is not coupled with dirayah leads to error. Riwayah means rote transmission, while dirayah means expert interpretation. Scholarship is much more than a sanad or a seminary degree. Point 2. If we zoom in a bit, we may now examine the Hanafi ruling on whether or not fasting the 6 days of Shawwal consecutively is makruh. Some scholars did consider it recommended to fast these days consecutively after Eid al-Fitr, among them Imam al-Shafi'i radiyallahu ta'ala anhum. The Hanbalis and Hanafis considered it the same, to fast them consecutively or not, because they deemed the relevant report to be excessively weak. Now, there is a big dirayah difference between deeming a report that substantiates a recommendation in another school to be weak versus coming to the conclusion of karaha based on the purport of a sound hadith in our madhab. In the latter case, then yes, it would not be correct to act upon the ruling of another school in contradiction to ours. However, in this case, there is no real conflict between the Shafi'i position of recommendation and the Hanafi position. In fact, in accordance to the principles we stated in the lesson on the Fiqh of Fiqh, this would be an instance of both A. Al-Khuruj min al-Khilaf, that is the recommendation to avoid difference of opinion, and B. an instance of Tazawwud and Tahalli, that is, seeking from every madhab an increase in good deeds and or a beautification of one's current deeds. قال تعالى وتزودوا فإن خير الزاد التقوى وقال جل شأنه خذوا زينتكم عند كل مسجد وقال عز من قائل ولباس التقوى ذلك خير وقال سيد العابدين في الأولين والآخرين صلى الله عليه وسلم خير البر عاجله. So, in conclusion, even as a Hanafi, it would appear to be superior to fast the 6 days of Shawwal consecutively right after Ramadan. And since we have already passed that time period, you may make the intention from now for next year, insha'Allah ta'ala. Allahumma ballighna Ramadan. Point 3. These are the fiqhi proofs. However, from the spiritual standpoint, it is also superior to fast the 6 days consecutively immediately after Ramadan. Why? In our lesson on spiritual premises, we discussed the role of personal gauging in the enhancement of our worship. This is coming from a very well-known spiritual maxim that states that whatever is most difficult upon the ego is where the truth lies. The truth, meaning what is best for one's spiritual development and rearing, which is the very objective of worship. So from this vantage, fasting consecutively, right after Ramadan, would be superior, as it is more physically taxing to immediately resume fasting without a rest. Furthermore, to fast right after Eid holds part of the meaning of the fast of Sayyiduna Dawood alayhi salam, which is alternating between days of fast and non-fast, which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam informed us is the most superior form due to the difficulty it imposes on the nafs. Point 4. It is valid to combine the intention of make-up fasts missed in Ramadan and the sunnah of fasting the 6 days of Shawwal. This is the position I have taken directly from one of our Hanafi mashayikh. However, in accordance to the same principle employed above, that is, the superior reward for acting upon what is more difficult upon the nafs, then performing the fard and sunnah separately would be better. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. In summary, in addressing the common Muslim, the Hanafi position is that fasting the 6 days of Shawwal is a recommended sunnah. However, they do not classify its performance consecutively right after Ramadan as either mustahab or makruh. As such, there is no obstacle to following the Shafi'i position in this instance, and doing so would in fact be a praiseworthy act. Women who wish to combine intentions for their fard make-up fasts and the sunnah fasts of Shawwal may do so. Secondly, on a methodological note in addressing Tullab al-Ilm and Ulama. Number 1, riwayah without diraya is not scholarship. Furthermore, diraya is particularly important in fiqh as it is a highly technical science and is therefore not open to the lay reader. Number 2, scholarship is much more than a sanad or a seminary degree. Often there is strong focus on the isnad as the hallmark of traditional Islam to illustrate what is not a scholar. However, it doesn't define what is a scholar. Sanad alone is not scholarship. So just because someone has read a text, it doesn't mean they've studied the text. Real fiqh study entails diraya, which means expert interpretation. Even of the words of the classical fuqaha, to the extent that the Hanafis made a distinction between the use of hermeneutical tools in understanding the text of the Quran and Sunnah versus the transmitted rulings of the fuqaha. For example, as Hanafis, we don't permit mafhum al-mukhalafa in the Quran and Sunnah as the Shafi'is do, while we do employ it in the classical works of our school. Lastly, on a da'wah note, in addressing ulama regarding how fiqh rulings should be taught to the common Muslim in our age of mass confusion. It is incorrect for a sheikh or sheikha to leave any fiqh ruling open to laymen to choose indiscriminately. We have witnessed this several times. The common Muslim or non-expert is to exert themselves to please Allah within the proper framework of the Sharia, which includes correct spiritual premises. The religion is creed, law, and spirit, aqeedah, fiqh, and tasawwuf. The straight path, as-sirat al-mustaqim, is found in the convergence of these three. Otherwise, it is hawa. Or worse, it is bid'ah. So, if we are to give a truly comprehensive answer here, then even riwayah and dirayah together are not sufficient for scholarship. Rather, there is one more key element, which is sirayah, meaning spiritual journeying. So we must teach those who want to be true seekers of knowledge that they must seek three things: riwayah, dirayah, wa sirayah. And true teachers of knowledge must impart it in three spheres: correct content, sound methodology, and divine da'wah, that is calling to Allah, not the self. Fiqh is not a buffet, nor is spirituality a selfish manifestation of the highly destructive individuality of the modern age. Tasawwuf teaches us how to tailor ourselves to God, not vice versa. Our worship should foster within us the faith realities that shield us from the spiritual diseases of our contemporary context. Please review the lesson on spiritual premises and intentions to ensure that your worship is sound, accepted, and beautiful. تقبل الله منا ومنكم وصل اللهم وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وآله والحمد لله رب العالمين.